Hi there, my name is Mike and welcome to Tricks to Go, where I show you tips and tricks for life that don't require reading an entire book or sitting through tons of boring seminars. In a few short minutes, I hope to leave you with a ton of tips and tricks that you can use for the rest of your life. Make things a little bit easier in this crazy world. Today we're going to talk about something that's often overlooked: gratitude. Gratitude is defined as the feeling or attitude in acknowledgement of a benefit one has received. Whoa, what? Okay, to put it in simple terms, gratitude is saying thank you. Gratitude is being appreciative for what someone has done for you. Now, as a parent, you know that gratitude does not come natural to your child. They could be the angel of all children, but unless taught, they will not grasp the concept without a little help from you. The other day when I was in Target, I saw this little boy ask his mom to buy him this Avengers action figure set. I mean, to be honest, it was awesome, and it is most definitely not on my Christmas list. Anyway, so after the mother has decided that it was not the time to buy it, she said no. Now what happens next is the reason that I'm making this video. Now the boy was determined to leave the store holding that Iron Man. He asked again, and just like before, the mom said no. This is when it started to go down. The boy grabbed the toy off the shelf, threw himself on the ground, and then began to cry and scream. This was no Marley and Me cry. Don't put him down. This is what most would call a tantrum. He yelled things like, "If you don't buy me this toy, then you don't love me."
Boy, that escalated quickly.
And after about 20 seconds of him crying, the mom said, all right, put it in the cart. Now this is where my tip comes in. Now let's see, he screamed, he cried, he got the toy. This is exactly what you want to avoid. Rewarding bad behavior. It is the foundation of having a very long and gruesome time raising a kid. The first thing to know about gratitude is that it never goes hand in hand with entitlement. See, the people that are most grateful in this world are also the least entitled. In that kid's case, he didn't get what he thought he deserved, and so he threw a fit. Now let me tell you a story about my mom, the greatest of all, and what she did to teach me a little lesson about why I was not king of the world. Now, as a parent, I'm sure some point along the way you've told your child to say thank you, and that gifts are not deserved and that we should be appreciative. Sidebar, if you haven't mentioned saying thank you to your child and they're older than that phase where whether or not they smiled has to do with whether or not they farted, it needs to be done. And back. I knew generally that thank you should be said, but it wasn't very high on my priority list. Now when I was younger, we would always make our weekly trip through the drive-thru of the laundromat. I'm not sure about your guy, but ours was the best. I don't know what happened to those clothes once he pressed the button and they went behind, but all I knew is when he was done, we got a lollipop. Green is the best. Don't argue it. When he gave me the lollipop, I felt like I deserved it. I had waited patiently. Plus, I don't know if you'd noticed, but I'm pretty awesome. Now, as soon as she rolled up the window, she turned around and said, "Hand me your lollipop." She took it, opened it up, and stuck it in her mouth. She then went on to tell me that as soon as I learn to say thank you, I can learn to enjoy the flavor of the lollipop. I will never forget the feeling driving home. I yelled, I cried. I'm pretty sure at one point I tried to take my brother's lollipop out of his mouth. Needless to say, I was upset. But my mom said, as soon as you learn to be grateful, then you can keep things that are given to you. In the moment, that did not seem fair to me. What I know now is that my mom was right. I could throw as big a fit as I wanted, but until I learned to say thank you, my mom would savor that sour apple in the driver's seat. Later that week, we were all at McDonald's and my mom bought us all ice cream cones. Ice cream! As soon as the lady behind the counter handed me the cone, I ran to my seat. I was going to devour this ice cream cone. My mom quickly came over, took the ice cream out of my hand, and threw it in the trash. "Mom, that's ice cream." And it was just as she was beginning to take it that I remembered what she had told me. And I said, "Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you." But my mom said, you need to say it right away, and hopefully next time you'll remember. The key here is repetition. No child will learn life lessons in one day. And if they do, then you have a miracle child. Hello, Oprah? No, you don't understand. Clear the space. You've got to meet this kid. The story continues, and it gets better. The next week, we went back to the laundromat, waited, and as soon as the man finished, he handed us our lollipops. This time, I knew what to do. As soon as he reached out and handed me that lollipop, I looked him in the eyes and said, "Thank you, sir." There was no way on earth my mom was taking my lollipop this time. In the moment, what I was doing was solely to get the lollipop and to keep the lollipop. But what I later realized is that my mom was teaching me a good habit. And what I learned is that when you're grateful, people want to do things for you. By rewarding the good behavior and not allowing the bad, my mom was making me the most grateful boy in town, or I would never lick another lollipop. Now back to the story. The man's face when he handed me that lollipop and I was overly grateful was one of shock. He turned back to the bowl, grabbed another lollipop, and said, "Wow, you have such good manners. I want you to have two." I was overjoyed. What my mom taught me was right. Taking the extra second to be grateful has made the difference my entire life. Because a little thanks can go a long ways. Because when you have gratitude and when you are grateful, people want to hang out with you, people want to do things for you, and people want to help you. See, while I thought my mom was making my life worse, she was actually making it better. So try this. See what happens. It starts out as saying thank you because they want to keep whatever they were given. But soon they will realize that the reason you say thank you is to show appreciation for the gift that you were given. This is Mike signing off. Make sure you subscribe and hit like for more tricks to go. Life lessons faster than you can say supercalifragilistic.